If you've tried to grab something at a drugstore recently, you may have encountered some extra security measures, items locked behind plastic barriers or glass doors. Extra tags or alarms, they're all measures retailers are taking on to combat ongoing retail theft. Now, according to the New York City report on retail theft, there have been more than 38,000 petty larceny cases so far in 2024. That's the charge for most retail thefts. This all while the U.S. Chamber of Commerce says nationally, 88% of retailers believe shoplifters have become at least somewhat more aggressive. Joining us now on the phone, CBS law enforcement contributor and former deputy commissioner with the NYPD, Richard Esposito. Mr. Esposito, good to have you with us.
Good morning, Chris. Good to see you.
So let's start with the idea of putting body cameras on employees. Some retail chains like TJ Maxx, they've already decided they're going to begin doing this. Will this type of footage, do you think this will curb robbers from taking the chances that they've been taking? And what do we feel about the employees having body camera footage on them?
Well, I think that the latter part is probably the most important part of the equation. It does nothing for the employee's peace of mind. They are, in essence, being asked to be security, as well as helping me down an aisle. So will it deter theft? Yes, it might. It's another measure that could deter theft. It's being used right now in the big box stores, and the software is the same that the police are using. But it's just another layer of what's making us disheartened with what's a $100 billion national problem now.
You know, and I guess the bigger question is, as you're looking at video right now, most stores have surveillance cameras high atop their stores all over. Right. So they're capturing these images. To put an employee who is not necessarily trained to fight crime, like a police officer, in position of getting close to these hoodlums, just to videotape them, seems like you're putting them at added risk.
I think so, Chris. I think it's a risk that they're neither trained for, nor should this burden be placed on them. They're not police officers. They're not private security. But you've been in these stores, and the private security also has been disempowered. They're not, you remember the days there was a shoplifter, someone would come out, hold them, bring them inside, call the police. They're not doing that in many stores. They're being told by the owners of the big chains especially, stay out of it, let them go. So now I think they're facing a 15 to 20% decline in their sales. Customers aren't coming in. And now they're looking for measures to augment the police. It's
amazing where we've kind of where we are now as a society where that is, just let them go. Don't worry about it. Everything will be fine. A few weeks back, the mayor announced a pilot program with the NYPD to share real-time security footage with police. What exactly does that entail? And is that just requiring more police to be sitting by watching monitors?
It's a very positive development, Chris. It's the kind of thing that could really work. It's using technology and integrating it into the real-time crime data. So it's at the precinct level and it's voluntary. But if your store wants to send video in real time to the precinct, they'll have somebody watch it. And the reality is there are police officers in the precinct all the time, desk officers, officers at the front of the building, so they can do it. And it gives them another tool. It's, as you said, it's 38,000 reported petty larcenies. When the mayor announced his program just a year ago, May 23, there were 22,000. So this problem is not just escalating, it's soaring. And it doesn't show a sign of abating. And the police are using measures that are probably the right ones. In addition to the cameras, they're targeting the repeat offenders. In 1 year, 30% of these crimes were committed by just a few over 300 people. And that's the ones they can go after very effectively.
Yeah, once you got the system down and you're not getting caught and people are letting you come into the stores and then leave unabated, you keep doing it, I guess, from a criminal standpoint. And it's funny, the FBI releasing these numbers yesterday about nationwide crime numbers being down 25% in all the major categories. Shoplifting, though, obviously not one of them from what we're seeing here. So CBS law enforcement contributor Richard Esposito, thanks again for being with us. Sorry we couldn't see you today, but always good to hear from you. All right, Richard joins us. Good to talk to you. Richard joins us every week in the 8 o'clock hour. To catch all of our conversations with him, go to cbsnewyork.com.